everyone, it's Makeup Monday, so I'm going to be working with my new favorite palette, some of my new favorite colors. They're new to me. And I know I talked a little bit about them last week, but got a couple of questions on them, so I thought I would just jump in and do a quick little look with them, kind of a boho glam look. All right, so I'm going to get started, and I'm going to pull this up a little bit, just up and out of the way. All right, so first things first, I'm gonna start off with our primer. This is our HP primer, and if you look at it, it's got kind of a yellow cast to it. We'll take a little bit, and I'm gonna warm it up with my fingers so it spreads a little bit evenly, more evenly, sorry. And this stuff is awesome. It cancels out red tones in the skin and discoloration, and bonus, it has some natural sunscreen in it, so always a good thing. Now I've already done my skincare, and one thing that I'm just adamant about is correction coat during the day, as far as my moisturizer, because correction coat has SPF in it and it's zinc based. So after I do my skincare, I'm going to apply my primer, which we just did, and that's HP, and let that get on there good. And y'all, this stuff smells so great. And if you haven't used primers, let me tell you, they are a game changer. They make all the difference in the world. And another primer that I love is Heavenly Sheen. I know some of y'all are really, if you've been with Alouette for any length of time, you're very familiar with it. But this is Heavenly Sheen. It's only $13 if you bought it by itself. And it is wonderful as far as like smoothing out the eyelid. Now it was developed as a eyeshadow primer, right? But this, just like so many things with Alouette, is multi-purpose. So you could even use this as a highlighter on your cheek, you know, after you put on your face. And the thing I like about it is that if you wanted to wear this by itself, you really could. So let's say that you have a daughter, young lady, granddaughter, and she's just getting started in makeup. This would be perfect for her because it's super easy to apply. It dries down really fast, and it gives just a little teensy bit of color. So it can most definitely be worn by itself. And like I said, it dries down really fast, and when it's on there, it's going to stay put. Okay, so that's my eyeshadow primer. And the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to use a beauty blender that, you know, we all have these. I like to dampen mine just because it helps with spreading my foundation out, and it puts on a little lighter coverage. If I want to build it up, no big deal. I think it's always better to start off with less and then build up gradually if you wanted to. And if not, you just leave it like that. But I wanted to show you guys this. I got this off of Amazon, and I think it was only like $2. But when you're rinsing out your beauty blenders, you can just store them in there, and it helps, you know, to keep them more sanitary, more clean, because they can dry out all the way through. So just thought I'd share that little tidbit with y'all. Okay, so when I use my foundation, and I'm using Be Picture Perfect, I love this foundation because, like I said, I can have you know, light to medium coverage, or I can have full coverage. It's all on how I apply it. And there's so many different colors. The color that I'm using right now is light tan because I've been using Sunless Tanner. If I wasn't using Sunless Tanner, then I would use Golden Medium. Okay, so I always put it on my hand, just like my primer, because I really think that, you know, when a product warms up a little bit, it's easier to work with. And I start at the top and I come down. Now everybody applies their makeup a little bit different. This is just my way of doing it. You know, you might have something that's similar, or you might do yours a little bit, you know, different or whatever. But I think it's really neat when we share application and how we do it, because you never know, you might learn something new. Let me turn my mirror around this way. There we go. Now, I don't have time to go through all the ingredients that's in this foundation, but like I said, it is anti-aging. So the more you use it, the more benefit it has for you. Okay. So again, just using my beauty blender. And like I said, you could do it as heavy or as light as you wanted. Turn this way. There we go. And I carry mine down a little bit. Just kind of blend it out. Have a little bit of hyperpigmentation on my neck. The skin on my face is not the same color as the skin on my body because I do not use sunless tanner on my face. It never really gives me the color that I like. And also it's kind of a waste because, you know, I use, you know, I'm religious about my skincare, and with all the skincare, you know, it just winds up just, you know, coming right off. It doesn't last as long as it does on my body. Okay. I like to get up under here. Okay. There we go. All right. I love these little things. And like I said, you can get those off of Amazon. All right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to be working with our bronzer. And this is part of a Mother's Day bundle that we did. We did a makeup Mother's Day bundle, which is awesome. But it has the bronzer, the Heavenly Sheen, okay, the HP primer, and I believe the Intensity Stretch mascara. But I will get all that information for you guys. But this is the bronzer. And I had it, when I got it, I added it to this palette. So I have the medium ultra finish foundation, which you could wear if you were more into mineral makeup. And then, and I do this a lot with, you know, I go back and forth with the kind of foundations that I use. But, and then I have my bronzer here, okay? And the bronzer is great for just about any skin tone. What I'm going to do is I'm going to contour a little bit on either side of my forehead. Then I'm going to do cheekbones. I'm going to do the side of my nose. I'm going to contour my nose for you guys. And then I'll probably do just a little bit through here. Bronzer, our bronzer works great for blendability. So I'm going to start up here. And what I do is I contour anything that I want to take away. I'm trying to work with the sunlight here, y'all. All right, so that's what you're doing. You're just shading what you want to take away. All right, so I'm going to start in here and create a little more cheek. Okay. And let me see if I can turn this way. I'm following the sun, y'all. There we go. Okay. So I am creating some cheek, and what I want to do is I want to shade this out, but I don't want to go too far down my face. I want to keep everything up. All right. Y'all have heard me talk about that a lot. Okay, and I'm going to do a little bit of jawline. I like working with contour and bronzers as opposed to going with a darker foundation, because contour colors and bronzers are formulated, they're milled differently. than going with a darker color and a foundation or something like that, because you really want to be able to blend it so that it's not such a harsh line. Now it looks harsh right now because we're just putting it on, but when we get done, we're going to have it all blended out. So I like to take a little bit away here. And if I wanted to, I could really, like, if it was an evening look that I was going for, or if I was going out, or, you know, having pictures made or whatever, I could really even contour down through here, but we're going to leave it at that. Okay, so now I am going to use my blush brush, and I'm going to use the color Tourmaline. Okay, and just coming down. I use it at the angle that it's cut. You want to work with your brushes because they're designed to do specific things. So if your brush is cut at an angle, that means that it's meant to make angles, right? Just like if you had a, let's see, a brush like this, okay? I think this one is from, yeah, this is It Cosmetics, but this is, I love this brush, especially for contouring. All right, you see this end? That means that I can really get in there and do finer lines. And then this would be to smudge out those lines. So using our bronzer again, and remember this bronzer is part of a beauty bundle for Mother's Day. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to start creating contour on my nose. So you know what, let's do this first. Let's do eyebrows first because I think that that gives us a better point of reference. So we're going to draw back and point. Okay, I'm going to do my eyebrows real quick. And I like doing that because, like I said, it gives me more of something that I can see as far as doing my other contouring. Okay, this brush I got off of Amazon. I can't even remember the company name, but you see how one end is angled a little bit and it's a spoolie brush, and then the other is this part right here is like a very small slanted paintbrush. I don't know how else to explain it. So I use that for my eyebrows because, well, you want to brush them first. You want to get them kind of tidied up. And then this gives me a lot of control over where I'm putting my color. And I'm using the cocoa color from our eye silks. And I start underneath, just that quick. And again, these pigments blend so pretty and so quickly. You just, it's kind of like paint by numbers. Super, super simple. Now I could go as big or as little as I want to. Now you see the difference? Okay, now you see what I'm talking about. Not just because of, you know, aesthetic reasons, it looks better, but this is going to give me a guide to do my contouring. Okay, so jump in here, I go underneath. And don't worry about being absolutely, you know, precision perfect here, because we can go back and kind of fine tune it if we wanted to. All right, see? And then I always take my spoolie and brush again, just to make sure that that color has adhered to my brow. Fill in a little bit here. All right. There we go. Easy peasy. All right, so I've got that on. There we go. Okay, so now I want to, like I said, we're going to be doing more contouring. So again, with this brush, it's a double-edged sword. It's a kind of a twofer, and this is from It's Cosmetics, And that's, you know, I only have a couple of brushes that I don't, that aren't Alouette, because normally all of my Alouette brushes do everything that I need them to do, but it's Sunday, so I'm in the middle of cleaning some brushes. I'm seriously thinking about getting another 5-piece set of the Alouette brushes, just so I have them on hand and can do all the little extras. Like, for instance, probably won't be able to find it now that I'm talking about it, but there is a little, oh, here we go. This little guy. I probably need about 3 or 4 of these, because they really get in there and, you know, can do some great contouring. But that one has eyeshadow on it, so we're going to leave it over there. All right, so what I'm doing is I'm using my eyebrow, and I'm going to start from here and come all the way down. All right, so I'm going to start from here and come all the way down. And it feels like you're going really close in the middle of your nose, and that's what you're actually going for. You want to do that. If you go too far out, it looks like your nose is dirty, and it can have the opposite effect of what I'm trying to do. Okay, so I'm going to go in. Okay, hopefully you can see that. And the reason why I'm starting here on my brow instead of like down here, because when light hits the face, this is the most prominent point on the face. Obviously, it's your nose, right? Because it comes up the most. So the way that shadows are going to hit your nose, the shadows are going to start in here and come down, right? They're not going to start like right here. So it's just working with light, like y'all have heard me say, smoke and mirrors. And as I get older, my bag of tricks gets bigger. All right, so come on down. Okay, now I'm going to show you another quick little trick with contouring. Okay, so I'm going to take this little point, and I'm going to take a little bit off the tip of my nose. I'm literally creating a little ball on the end of my nose. I'm giving it more shape, because we're not all born with that Disney princess nose, right? So that's what I'm going for. But don't get me wrong, I don't think I would ever have a nose job. I really don't. I love my nose, but I love playing on makeup too, so it's kind of a win-win. Okay. All right. So now what I'm going to do, 2 quick little tricks. I don't think I've ever showed y'all this before. All right, I'm taking Candlelit, which is in this, no. Okay, Candlelit is in, this is my Jumbotron palette. I've got a lot of different colors in here. I just wanted to show y'all this to give you an idea of how many colors that we can use to customize a palette just for you. All right, but I'm using Candlelit. Candlelit is one of those colors that I always try to start everybody off with in their maxi beauty box, because it is so universal. So I'm using Candlelit, and I'm going to come down. I'm going to actually start up here, come down to about midway, and then right here on the end. And again, it is creating an illusion of where light would hit my nose. Okay, you see that? We're not done though. All right, so now I'm going to take Ultra Finish Foundation, and I'm going to take this part of my contouring brush, and I'm going to use probably this, which is, this one is medium, and I'm going to go on the outside of my nose. Okay, I'm not going over here on the cheek. I'm just going on the sides of my nose, right next to where I did my contouring, and it's making that contour look more prominent. Okay, So it's a little teensy bit lighter than my foundation. And it just gives a little bit more of an illusion, okay? Now, if I wanted to, I could really get in there and do even more, but I think I'm just going to leave that. Yeah, I think I'm going to leave that. Okay, so now what I can do is to contour my cheeks a little bit. I'm taking that same Ultra Finish foundation. It's the Mineral Foundation, which is like a pressed powder. And I'm going to go right here. It's not necessarily baking, but it's, you know, kind of the same principle. Okay, and I'm going to do right here on either side of my eye. And the reason why I'm doing that is because it's going to make my eyes appear more open, right? And then I'm going to come in here and just kind of blur this line between my bronzer and my foundation on my forehead. All right. Now I'm going to use the big brush that comes in our 5-piece kit. This is one of my all-time favorite brushes. And then I'm just going to go all over. I'm not rubbing, right? I'm just going with a light touch, just kind of like that. Okay. All right, guys, so now let's work with some eyeshadow. Okay, I have on my primer, and hopefully you can see that a little bit. I'm trying to work with natural light so y'all get a better, a more realistic, you know, interpretation of it. Okay, so, and I'll get some pictures and show y'all. Well, I hate when I don't have all, like I said, my brushes are getting clean. Okay, so I'm going to use a flat brush, and I'm going to pick up Candlelit from this palette that I put together. So I have Candlelit, Fortune is the middle color, and then Sangria is this dark color. And that Sangria is, I know it looks a little intimidating because it's so dark, but it is beautiful and it blends so pretty. If you know, I have very dark eyes, but if you had green or blue, it's going to really make them pop. These colors, think about this, okay? You know, when you wear a heavy pigmented, a deep pigmented color on your lips, how it makes your mouth, well, it's going to, of course, make your lips fuller, but it's also going to make your teeth look whiter, which is an anti-aging thing. When you wear a deep color on your eyes, that's what you're going for. That's why we do that, okay? Because it's going to make the white of your eyes appear whiter. The iris, you know, the color part of your eye, more intense, right? So that's the objective. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of go right in here. And again, everybody puts on makeup different. I tend to try to create little guidelines on my face, and that's probably from many art classes. So that's probably where that all comes from. But anyway, okay, so I just went a little bit into my arch. Now I'm going to take that awesome little fluffy brush that I was telling y'all about, that I wish I had so many of this brush. And this is part of the 5-piece set too. And I'm going to go in and I'm going to pick up some of that Sangria. Now, I'm going to be 54 this year, okay? So I'm trying to basically contour my eye, but I'm not going to go right into the crease. With mature skin, we want to open it up, but if I went just into the crease, it's probably going to get a little lost. So I'm not only going to go into the crease, but I'm going to go a little bit above it, right? So that it looks like I have more definition. Because as we get older, our eyes, it's not that they get smaller, it's that the skin, because this is the most, it's the thinnest on our bodies, it starts to break down the quickest. That's why we get wrinkles and crinkles around our eyes before anywhere else, right? And then the next spot is going to be like right above here, above our lip. So with that in mind, you know, it's like when you look at a child, what you see are those big eyes, right? So we're trying to create that. Okay, so I'm going to go in to the crease, but I'm also going to go a little bit above. Let's see if I can turn this way. Okay. Now I want to tell y'all, think about colors in a sunset. Like all your golds, your oranges, your reds, all of those, even yellows, some shades of yellow. Those are very, very on trend. And the thing about it is, no matter what you're wearing, they tend to work with it, right? So you don't have to be stuck in, I just need to wear neutrals and browns so that, you know, or when you're buying a palette, when we're putting together a custom palette for you, you don't have to just stay with those colors. You can pick out a fashion color, especially with these, because of the pigments and the way that they blend. You can be on trend, but, you know, age appropriate too. They're going to blend beautiful. So those sunset colors, you know, don't be afraid to work with those. They truly do. That's why I wanted to wear something that had a lot of, well, contrasting color. Okay, so you could see how it was going to work. All right, so you see that? Okay. All right, so now what I'm going to do is clean this brush. I'm telling y'all, I need a bunch of this a bunch of these, of this one brush. It really is my favorite though. And I'm going to pick up that color Fortune, which was the middle color in this palette. I'm going to pick it up. Okay, and I'm going to go over this, and I'm just going to keep blending it out. Now what I'm doing is I created some contour on my eye. Now I'm going to blend it out and create it. You'll still see sangria, but it'll be it won't be as a harsh line. Okay, so Fortune, the color that I'm using, is a great transition color. And then I'm just going to keep carrying it up, and I'm actually going to go all the way up to the arch of my eye. And that was the reason why I did that ice color from my big palette. Or no, that wasn't ice, that was Candlelit. Okay, that's why I used Candlelit to go under here, because you can still see it, but we created a transition. Okay, so I'm going to go over that and just kind of blend it out. Sorry about that, guys. That is Candlelit. And then we used Sangria. And then we used Fortune as our transition color. And I'm taking it all the way up. Sorry if the light keeps going in and out. I live in an older neighborhood, and there's tons of trees everywhere, which is wonderful. But when you're trying to do a video, it can get a little tricky. Okay, now I'm going to do something that used to be a big no-no in makeup application. I'm going to use my finger, and I'm going to use my pinky finger. I'm picking up Candlelit again, and I'm going to go in the corner of my eye. Okay, and I am really creating some definition. Then I'm even going to go into this part of my eye. Sorry about that, y'all. Okay, and I'm going to go into this part because I really, really want to create some drama. All right, now I'm picking up Candlelit again, and I'm going to go back on my arch, right under the arch of my eyebrow. Okay, and that's that. Now, I love Plum Passion as an eyeliner, and Plum Passion, for those of you who don't know, is one of our eye silks. So one thing that I have found on mature skin is that you got to be really careful with eyeliners because you don't want a hard line, and sometimes that's what happens with our, with older skin. So what I like to do is I like to use one of our eye silks. I take our setting spray and I'll spray an eyeliner, or even a lip liner brush would work, but you need to have it dedicated for that. You don't want to use it, go back and forth between lip liner and eyeshadow. And then I'm using Plum Passion, which is this beautiful purple color. And I am going to pick that up and I'm going to use it as my eyeliner, okay? The reason why I wet my brush is because it makes it, well, it picks up the product and it holds the product onto the brush so that it gives me, a liquid to work with as opposed to a powder. Also, the setting spray isn't going to contaminate my palette. It's not going to contaminate my eyeshadows. So, which is a huge win. All right, so I'm going to look this way and I just lightly, you don't have to just pull your eye. I just lightly, kind of pull it too. And I'm going to do this. Now, if this was an evening look, what I would do is I would apply this and then I would go back in just along my lash line and I would use our liquid eyeliner. Our liquid eyeliner isn't going to be cakey. It's not going to flake. It's not going to give you that old crusty looking makeup look. It's not like that at all. It's velvety. So, if it was a nighttime look, I would definitely use that. Just to give even more definition to my eye. And then sometimes too, I do like to wear, a winged eyeliner look. Just depends on, a lot of times, to be quite honest with you, it depends on what I'm wearing. It doesn't necessarily depend on the occasion. It'll depend on my outfit. If the outfit was, I guess, a little more modern. This is kind of a bohemian, boho glam look, so, I'm not going to go for a winged eyeliner. Alright, now I'm going to do something that's a little crazy. I am going to take Ice, which is an eye silk that is like a pure optic white. What I'm going to do with it, and this is going to look a little crazy, but just trust the process. So I'm going to go in and I'm just going to pull my eye down just a little teeny bit. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply this along my waterline. Your waterline is just right here, okay? It's just the inside of your lash line that's right next to your eye, right? And here's what I know. It's not going to make my eyes irritated. It's not going to run. It's not going to go anywhere. I love our eye silks. And my skin is so sensitive. And one of the first places that I could always tell when I was going to have a reaction to something was, of course, my eyes. And this is not going to do that. And this is a really old makeup trick. And this started with movie stars, screen stars from the silent film era, because they really had to put on the makeup for it to show up on film. And this was one thing that they used to do. And then it carried over into like the Rat Pack era and into the 60s, because it made people's eyes look clearer and not so bloodshot. So, but it's a great makeup trick. So it's going to make my eyes appear larger, and it's also going to make eye color look more intense. All right, now you remember the brush that I used for my eyeliner on top? I'm going to take it and I'm going to come underneath, and I hardly ever wear any color underneath. It's just, I don't know, I always focus on, you know, going up. But I really like this purple color, so I thought I would do something a little different for y'all. And I know a lot of you do wear eyeliner, you know, on the bottom, so I just wanted to show you that it is most definitely workable as far as like an eyeliner underneath. Now, I do not go all the way in on the bottom. That's one thing I won't do because I want to keep my eye really, really open. Okay, so get a little more there. All right, so now I'm going to apply my lip. Now, what I'm going to do with my lipstick, I am going to line my lips. I use nutmeg. To me, this color is it's universal. So whatever lipstick I'm wearing, whatever client I'm suggesting a lip liner to, that's always my first one. We have some beautiful lip liners, and you know, once you get into them, you start using them, they go on like butter. They're wonderful. So what we want to do, and the reason why we use lip liner, is to keep, as we get older, you know, our lips thin out a little bit. So we want to keep that full lip look. Also, it keeps your lipstick or your lip glosses, what have you, in place instead of, you know, traveling on your face. If you're younger and you want a fuller lip, but you don't want to do injections or anything like that, this is a great way to get that look. So what I'm going to do is I'm using nutmeg, like I said. And nutmeg is great because it's like a deeper, natural skin color. So that's why I always suggest it. So I already started this a little while ago. So I'm going right under my natural lip. I'm not going all the way to the creases because it can start looking a little funky. So you just really want to do about 3/4 of the lower lip and right under. Put this on the magnifier side where your, I need a new mirror. Yeah, where your lip ends. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to also do my Cupid's bow. Okay, again, going right above. I'm not going to go all the way down to the corners. Okay, I'm just going to go about 3/4 of the way. Okay, now I'll tell you another trick. This is a great color that if I wanted to, if I knew that I wasn't going to be able to touch up my lipstick during the day, I could fill this in with nutmeg and it would last all day long. What I do is, if I do that, I will use our Soothe and Smooth, the lip gloss in it. I have to show y'all that soon. No, I don't have it here. Okay. I'll use the lip gloss in that, and I will put it over just to give it a little bit of moisture, but then that'll last all day long. All right, so I am going to use Posh, and that was the color that I